Today we're going to look at the worst rule zeros, in your opinion, and maybe mine. I'm going to start off with the rule zero of no infect. Like what? No infect is allowed. I heard like there's a few ways of punishing infect. You can either ban the infect period, or you can also just add another 10 poison to the criteria to killing somebody with infect. First off, I think someone needs to go pretty all in with an infect creature in Commander at that. Like, what consistent infector can they get out in the first place? And they still need to pump it up, and they only get to kill one person. What do you think? Everyone's gonna wail on that infector. I think it's a really weak strategy. I don't know. I've never really heard of an unstoppable infect deck. So to pump it up to so if you require someone to deal 20 infect damage in order to beat someone, I mean, you might as well just ban the thing. I mean, you might as well just ban infect, because getting to 20 damage or doing that 3 times is borderline impossible. So yeah, I think that one is just so weird. Yeah, infect is so 2015, but you know what? People they take it personally. They get killed by that infect creature. Anyway, I'd love to hear your favorite the worst rule zeros you come across. Jess, with no land destruction. So no, and no counter spells. Counter spells are super broad. I can sort of understand people's hate for land destruction. I thought that was just something frowned upon. I didn't know people actually banned that thing. All right, everybody, no land destruction. No one's allowed to touch any of our lands. No pillage. Anything that could destroy land, that's illegal too. Or maybe you can play it, but you have to play with the card that you have to play it with the clause that the land destruction part is completely eroded. So but the no counter spells, that is a completely unhinged game. Completely unhinged. If there are no counter spells policing what people do, I mean, this is the most ridiculous free-for-all. I've played so many games where someone is basically threatening to win the game on turn 3, and if it wasn't for the counterspell player, that'd be me, we all lose. So, I mean, this is just encouraging more combo decks to combo off super fast. Christopher B is like, banning infect, what about toxic? Oh, that'd be great to get them with that, you know? I can't think of a toxic card off the top of my head, but it's like, you didn't name toxic, you said infect. Yeah, you got him. Steve Cooper says, one guy said you shouldn't be able to use proxies unless you own the actual card to you once. I know, I understand. There's these people who they have some reasons for it, but it's very gatekeepy. You know what? It depends. Okay, I'll respect the person if they don't play with expensive reserve list cards. So there are some people who believe that, you know, they don't like your proxy. They don't like you proxying powerful cards if you don't actually own them. To hopefully power down the power level of the group, because if you get to play with the reserve list cards, you get to play with Gaia's Cradle, you get to play with Grim Monolith and so on. You get to play with like really, really strong cards. But if they are playing with those cards themselves, I mean, F them. They just completely F them. In general, if you don't want to play against powerful cards, you play in the right bracket. Don't be telling people not to be playing with proxies in general. But I get where they're coming from. A good chunk of people, they just don't want to play like an over OP format. Well, let's get Gaia's Cradle here, which obviously is a great card, not the only card. But if they're playing with these cards because they own them, then I mean, they're just being a jerk. They're just being a complete jerk. It's like, oh, I'm allowed to play with the powerful cards because I have a big wallet. Behold the power of my wallet. I don't want to see your proxies around here if you don't have the money. I don't like it. I can understand limiting the amount of proxies. Like, whatever. I mean, I have friends that their entire deck is proxy. It's not any big deal to me. Oh boy, unlimited / additional free mulligans. It rewards combo decks that don't run enough lands. Very interesting. So well, just question, old boy, do you play in a playgroup where they have combo decks and they allow these unlimited mulligans? Like my combo deck, where's like Underworld Breach? Well, I'm not going to keep a hand until I have something can combo off on turn 3. But you're allowed to keep as many hands or mulligan as many times as you want to find a hand that can compete with my combo hand that wins on turn 3. You got a mulligan. I mean, you got one free mulligan for a reason. And if you have to keep mulliganing beyond that, fix your deck. Obviously, you've built your deck wrong. It's a deck building problem. Magic and this show are both pay to win. Usually, there are two ways you can pay to. You pay to win with buying cards. You could also pay to win with just a very fabulous printer. The power of the printer is very strong in Commander. Make Commander combo free. That is very hard to do. That's why we have a bracket system. Leon Corgi, tutor time limit. If you play a tutor, you must take at max 20 seconds or state what you are getting if it's a revealed card. Ooh, pretty interesting take. No, you could play a vampiric tutor or something, and you don't know what you're getting. You're wasting everybody's time. So that's a very interesting rule 0. When you are vampiric tutoring, know what you're going to get in advance. So you just tell everybody, and the next person can take their turn knowing what you were going to do anyway, because it's already committed. Instead of vampiric tutor, I wonder what I'm going to shop for in my deck today. I could get a basic land because, I am short on lands. I need to curve out. Or maybe I'm going to get that creature. That creature looks pretty good. you can pay Fusion Gaming and feel the power. That's right. And you'll feel even more powerful with my coupon code. Stormy Cat says, honestly, MTG cards are probably cheaper than printer ink. Well, it depends on the card. It certainly depends on the card. The Whining Timmies. There are many of them. Christopher B says, uncards are allowed, but only if they're specifically obnoxious to onlookers, i.e., MCE on obnoxious. Okay, 3 mana, human rogue for a 0/1. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you may stand up and say in a deep, booming voice, presenting, and that creature's name. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. That's weird. Okay, so uncards aren't allowed, but you are, but you allow the uncard for as long as the that is like a terrible rule 0. They're allowing the most obnoxious silver border cards. The ones that make you get up and maybe grab a player to help play the turn for you. Okay, what other of your rule 0s you hate the most? Gillum says, do I still get to cast Panglacial Worm if there's a time limit on the Vampiric Tutor? I think if you announce it, like, Vampiric Tutor, search for a land, but I'm also going to be casting Panglacial Worm at the same time. I think that would be allow it. Fan Factor, no rule 0 yet. If a player executes an infinite combo, they are immediately declared the winner and exit the match, while the remaining players continue playing like a normal game. Interesting. So you don't like this rule, or you like this rule? I think it's a very fascinating rule. Or are you the combo player that would prefer to play a new game after you've won? Stormy Cat, I was once told that in a tribal deck, match up a deck only counted as tribal if you had 30 plus creatures of the same type. Token makers didn't count. I was once told that tribal deck only count. Oh, who would care? Who cares? You know what? I just released a fairies video on my gameplay channel. There are 2 non-fairies in the deck. When the rest of the cards are, I think there's 4 fairies and the lands are fairies, and there's 2 non-fairies, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, that's not a fairy deck. What do you mean it's not a fairy deck? I mean, way more than 50% of the deck are fairies. So the deck does. Does using the real ban list in Kitchen Table Magic count as a rule 0? That sounds like a really unfun rule 0 to me. Does using the real ban list in Kitchen Table Magic? Oh, you mean just as a one-on-one sort of thing? You don't. Oh, so what you're saying, like when you're playing Kitchen Magic, hey, we're just playing BS. Let's play with whatever cards we want, including Talayan Academy. That's the fun of Kitchen Table Magic. Why do we have to play by the commander rules? Rice, I heard one group say no to non-basic lands. Oh my god, what the hell? We need actual island. Ooh, that's a pretty island. Where is this from? Oh, this is from The Hobbit. This is a great I might even get this island. What else do they got over here? No, that's the only island revealed so far. No non-basic lands. Well, that's one way to power down the format. That sounds awful. I mean, at that point, you might as well say, let's just be playing Pauper. At that point, you should just be playing Pauper Commander. I don't even know if that's possible. I guess there'd just be an exception to your actual commander where it can be an uncommon. Gillum says, Strip Magic is either the best or worst rule zero. Very, very pod dependent. You need the right pod. Okay, Saxus played a game that banned effects that don't target, but still let you choose something because they thought protection might be more impactful. For example, Circle of Protection white. What the hell rule is that? They banned effects that don't target. Let's get Circle of Protection. Oh, okay, you said white. Circle of Protection white, which is terrible. One of the worst Circle of Protections in the game. So, pay 1. The next time a white source of your choice would deal damage to you this turn, prevent that damage. It's funny because this doesn't even target in the first place. That banned effects that don't target. Oh, hold on. Are you saying they thought this card was, like, too broken? Circle of Protection is broken. I can't beat that card. Nobody can beat that card. They felt things like Hexproof should actually matter. They were trying to buff up Hexproof and Shroud? Like, what the hell's up with that? That's insane. That is really crazy. We're trying to make something Stalker. Unblockable Stalker or something like that. I can't remember what the Invisible Stalker. They're trying to actually make Invisible Stalker stronger. That is so bizarre. It's correct. Did I hear someone play Strip Magic? I've been looking for a pod for weeks. Phil Goad says, once played at a store where the rules was in no two people could be on the exact same colors in the same game. If one person is on mono green, you can play Bant, for example, but no other mono green. I guess they're looking for a variety. Maybe it was a way of, like, politely preventing people from playing the same commander in the same pod so things weren't getting repetitive, but they didn't want to say that. No two of the same commander. You have to play different commanders. If I'm reading that correctly, that's how I would interpret it. We got Prince of Winners. My local game, I guess, store had a rule 0 where any wish effect had cards from a specific store slush box you could tutor from. Oh, you didn't like that? They're trying to make some money off of those wish cards. Why should wish cards be worthless? Go into the slush box. Pick out something good. And it should be interesting, like, and when the card is done, it's like retired for the day. So you have to get something else from the slush box until the end of the day, where all the slush cards get refilled. We got RCB Drum. Rule 0. No slivers, no dragons, no Eldrazi. I understand maybe the Eldrazi. Chewing off the dragons? No dragons at all. Dragons are one of the most popular, beloved, like, creature types in all of Magic. By saying no dragons, you're basically telling half the commander population that one of their decks are not allowed. Not to mention slivers are also super popular. Bulk box stonks. You win with the card that you win with the card you buy the card. Yeah, you got to do that just for the memories. All right, so far we've heard some terrible rule 0s, but there's more to come. But also, I'll tell you, I don't know how to transition this very well, but here's FusionGamingOnline.com, my favorite sponsor, where you get all your cards either from Strixhaven or Marvel Superheroes. Not to mention, there's always a deal of the week every week. This week, it's 15% off all Ultimate Guard accessories, but it could be different next week. In fact, I guarantee you it's going to be different next week. But I'll tell you what's not going to be different, and that's coupon code Nikachu at checkout. Pre-order your Super Marvel spoilers and preview cards with coupon code Nikachu to get 5% off of your purchases, and it supports the channel. All right, let's get back to your worst rule 0s. Those rule zeros you've hated the most. Rule zeros, that's right. In Commander. We want the worst ones, though. John, rule zero in my low power group is unlimited mulligans. Another unlimited mulligan. Who the hell thinks this is a good idea? Like, okay, technically speaking, okay, look, technically speaking, if you have unlimited mulligans, you just start with the perfect hand. Because that's what you can theoretically do. You just keep mulliganing until you have the stone cold best hand possible. Because that is exactly what would happen if everyone has access to unlimited mulligans. I'll just say, okay, pre-game before the game starts, I am taking infinite mulligans and I'm getting this combination of cards. Because that's all that technically works. All right, so you can't technically have unlimited mulligans. It's got to stop at like 10 or something. But you must reveal your hand each time you mulligan beyond the first to ensure you have enough lands and can't combo off. You have to ensure you have enough lands. Oh, okay. So you have unlimited mulligan. So you don't really have unlimited mulligans. You can mulligan as many times as you want until you get to a playable hand, which was sort of the case of how Magic used to work a long time ago. No mulligan versus unlimited mulligan. What is worse? Unlimited mulligan is worse because you get the absolute perfect hand. In theory, if you really think about it. Is that a rule zero or a real thing? Oh, they're probably all real things. Healthier system with the super chat. Thanks so much for your super chat. Mulligans that are too friendly are bad. Bottom any number and draw that many up to twice. A group I was in did this and I dominated with combo decks. I don't get invited now. What's funny healthier system is actually my play group has considered adopting that mulligan idea. It's a really good idea. I actually have nothing against that idea. It's a fantastic way of dealing with the mulligan problem, where you keep a certain number of cards that you need and just dump the rest and hope the new cards that you draw are useful. This is a new time for streams. The stream times, if you haven't been part of the show for a while, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, Tuesdays, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I've always had the times in the description, and I always mention it at the end of the show. So on Tuesdays, Thursdays, you are part of the evening crowd. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you got to still be here in the morning. Morning. Fen Factor says, is Paris Mulligan put X cards from hand on bottom instead of shuffling hand a real thing or a rule zero? That's a rule zero. That's not a real thing. The real thing is you mulligan that damn hand. We have Archfiend. I rule zeroed every dice rolling silver bordered card into my commander deck that was just dice rolling cards a few months ago. It got a bit out of hand. Oh yeah, did they send you to the gulags? Dice rolling silver border deck. That sounds awful to play against. Why'd they even let you? Healthier system. No mulligan is fine. Then all of our hands are bad. No! Not for the person who has a good hand. Everyone else is pretty screwed. Crawdaddy. I generally allow players a second 6, a second 5, etc. for mulligans. Well, I mean, as a competitive player, like, I don't care. If I have to mulligan to 5, I mulligan to 5. It's no big deal to me. If I got a mulligan, I'll tell you what. I'm at an advantage if I have to mulligan to 4. Because no one attacks me. They know, oh, poor Nikachu over there. He's got no cards. He's got no board. Well, let's not waste our resources on him. So I actually find that I'm at an advantage when I don't look so menacing. Different play groups might apply weakness differently. Archfiend, it was pretty fun game. Was it fun for everybody? Stormy Cat, letting people play with stickers. Not a good idea. I hate. Are stickers are allowed, right? Like that's not a rule zero. Are stickers banned? I'm pretty sure stickers are allowed. It's one of those weird things that exist. But no, I don't remember though. I try to live in a world where stickers don't exist. They don't exist in competitive Magic anymore. Oh, they're banned now? Excellent. Excellent. Stickers are only allowed in Commander, I think. only on the legal cards they are. Yes, stickers are allowed. I can't tell. Are they allowed or not? Some stickers are legal, many are not. Why are any legal? That's terrible. That's terrible. Anyway, I mean, I don't even know how stickers work, so I just have to trust the person who plays with the stickers. I can't even get one. Was it name sticker goblin? I don't even know many sticker cards. There we go. We got a. Is it this one? This is a real card. Oh, it's called name. No, hold on. It's. This is the original card. This is the original card. This creature enters, you may put a name sticker on it. It's an awful card. Aaron, rule 0. If you have 2 or fewer lands on turn 4 and reveal a hand with no playable lands, you get 1 time temporary treasures equal to the turn number -2 to catch up. Oh, so you I can't tell if you guys want these rule 0s or you hate these rule 0s. Some of these rule 0s are there to basically help people. I would also argue though that if you have 2, what do you mean 2 or if you have 2 or fewer lands on turn 4? Oh, interesting. No, they have to build their deck better. So if you've got to turn 4 and you still are not making your land drops, here have some treasures. Yeah, Mind Goblin. Why is it called Mind Goblin? I don't understand that. I never figured that out. Mikeum says, I have blank Goblin in my CDH deck. It took me 4 hours to proxy the 10 sticker sheets for it. What do you mean it's awful? These cards are an abomination to the game. And this does not, and this is an abomination. Look, Legacy banned, Vintage banned, Oathbreaker banned, Pauper, even Pauper banned, Commander illegal. How the hell did that happen? One of these things are not like the other. All sticker cards are banned everywhere except Commander. There we go. Okay, that's the answer that we needed. Gillum says the Paris Mulligan isn't made up by the way that was the OG Mulligan. Then they made the Vancouver Mulligan and then the current London Mulligan. I think there was an even older Mulligan though. Maybe it was a no-name Mulligan where you just had to keep, you had no choice. You keep that hand and you don't have any choices. Mind Goblin, these nuts. Christopher B says, this isn't even a sticker card. It was a retrain for Magic the Gathering Online since that format has Legacy and the blank Goblin was playable there. No, I mean, like, this is the real card, right? This is the real card. And for some reason, this is, and then there we go, name sticker is the, like the Magic the Gathering Online adapted version, which was broken, by the way. I think this card was broken. I hated this card. Look, 1 to 6, you at least, it's a ritual. You like couldn't lose with this card. It was stupid. It was like 3 mana, maybe make 6 mana, but at least make 4. It was so dumb. So such a stupid card. Success also had a rule 0. No winning before turn 15. That is insane. That is like playing StarCraft and says no winning for like 20 minutes. Or maybe not. 20 minutes is not even a good comparison. It's like no winning for an hour. Build up your resources and forces as much as you want, and then we have a big slugfest at the end. Archfiend says, I don't know if this is rule 0 or not, but one pod I play with does draw 10, shuffle 3 back, and no mulligans as its mulligan rules. Interesting. Fan Factor says, I think everyone's sharing rule 0s, but not necessarily bad or worse ones. I agree with you, Fan Factor. I can't tell if they don't like them. Like there is an interpretation that they don't like them because they're too friendly. When, you know, if you build your deck bad, they should be punishing. A lot of people. Anyway, Corbinik, rule 0. My Pauper commander group occasionally start the game with a Howling Mine in play that's controlled by no player. It's rather fun for casual play. I think you're right, Fan Factor. I think you're right. No one's ever seen a bad rule 0. They only like good. They only experience good rule 0s. Mercenary, the current model after the EDH Mulligan rule. Reston Serpentine, the original official Mulligan rule in MTG introduced in 1994, allowed players who drew either exactly 7 lands or exactly 0 lands to reveal their hand to the opponent. If they did, they could shuffle those cards into their library and draw a fresh replacement hand of 7 cards. It had to be a worst case scenario, though. If you had 1 land, you were screwed. If you had 6 lands, you're also screwed. Crawdaddy, if someone plays with stickers. Every other player gets to punch them in the face. It's a bit rude. I guess it discourages people to play stickers though. Christopher B, I still hate Nadu and the Modern Horizons 2 incarnations and the original companions more than stickers. I don't. I hate stickers more than all the companions combined. 1994 was the good old days of Magic. It was so honest and fair back then. You lost quickly but honorably. Fan Factor, worst rule 0 is the one that allowed no rule zeros. Gillum says, I play Arena. There ain't no rule zeros. No, there is one rule 0 in Arena. There is one rule 0, and that is the ban list. As it is with all competitive games. That is the single rule 0 we all abide by. We can complain about it all we want, but that's the rule 0 we abide by. Micah, my league has a no winning before turn 0, 5, 8, 11 rule. What does that mean? Depending on the bracket of the game in question, you're allowed to break it. You just lose league points instead of gaining. Interesting. That's terrible. How low do these life totals get? They can get low. Christopher B, planar standard keeps being proposed on Reddit. What is that? Standard without blue-black Universes Beyond printings, including the likes of the FF Dark Confidant. Oh! So just basically standard, but no Universes Beyond. Will you allow attractions back? No. I don't want any of that silver border crap in competitive play. How do you win on turn 0? Yeah, you're right. I actually don't know. That sounds near damn impossible. I guess you win on turn 0 if it's not your turn and then you somehow combo off. With like, I don't know, Gemstone. I guess you need Gemstone Cavern, Simian Spirit Guide, and then some means of doing that. Yeah, involving the Flash Leyline. It's a very improbable hand that you have to start with. Rule 0, no Universes Beyond cards. Oh, that would be so unpopular. No, God, please, that would be one of the most unpopular Rule 0s out there. I have a massive chunk of friends. They are all over those Universes Beyond cards. They love the Final Fantasy. They love the Ninja Turtles. They love Marvel. I look at them and I'm like, this is why the game is what it is. It's because of you people. You people have completely warped this game. Vintage just keeps coming up with turn 0 win combos. No, I mean, technically you have to win on turn 1. You get a turn 1 and then that's it. Gillum says, once I've played Commander with no commander damage, it changed absolutely nothing. You know, it's funny that you say that. I accidentally killed somebody with commander damage the last time I played. I didn't even realize it. I had no idea because I wasn't keeping track of it. They were. It was done on a phone. But anyway, like usually I don't notice anyone dying to commander damage. It's just something hard to keep track of. We've got Samuel from Steen. Turn 0 is possible with 2 Dark Rituals, Dark Depths, a Vampire Hexmage, and either haste or away your sack your Merit Lage to deal lethal. That's turn 1 though. Your first turn of the game is not turn 0. Your first turn of the game is turn 1. Turn 0 is when you can win before it's your turn or before the game starts. I would consider that a turn 0. Reston, the setup. You must be on the draw. Start the game with the Gemstone Caverns in play. And a luck counter, removing a black card to activate it. Okay. Reston has some idea to win this game on the draw. Okay, the combo. During the opponent's upkeep, tap the cavern for mana, exile a Simian Spirit Guide for extra mana, and cast Dark Ritual. Cast Balustrade Spy, targeting yourself. Oh, that's interesting. And then yeah, you would win with some sort of reanimate card. Interesting. But you also need Leyline of what the lane line of the flash cards. Chris would be the ultimate turn 0 win if it's got unlimited cards, run a deck of Chancellor the Dross and in a 60 card constructed, beat everyone the first time every up to. That's right. And you know what? Video I made a video out of that, and you know what I had to use in order to create that video? It was none other than Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards on Magic Online. I was able to play any deck, any format I want, even formats that I basically created. Actually, I don't know. I use Mana Traders for a lot of that stuff. I'm not sure if I made it for that video because they only limit you to like 4 copies of each card. I got like 4 copies of Chancellor the Dross for them. I had to buy the other 56 copies myself. Rent cards on Magic Online using coupon code Nikachu_Z4M for 40% cash back on your 3rd month subscription. Back to our the show is mutated. We were talking about rule zeros. Now we're talking about how to kill people on turn 0. David Sampson. I had a player ask to use Sliv Drazi Monstrosity in rule 0. The entire pod unanimously said no. Hell no. I guess that was the worst rule 0. The council has spoken. Saxus, another one I saw. If your creature attacked one player, it couldn't attack them again until the following turn. It hurts so many aggro decks. People don't like getting picked on. What do you attack them with? I don't know. Ragavan. Leon Corgi, the Soul Ring Bounty. Oh, if you play a Soul Ring or any fast mana, Mana Crypt or Jeweled Lotus, etc. on turn 1 or 2, every other player gets a treasure. That is interesting. So, I mean, so what, you don't like this combo? Because this is the worst rule zeros. Basically punishing the person for having fast mana. It's just it turns fast mana into group hug. Effectively. Rule 0, infect player dies first. I think I know where the infect player is. Control player's wet dream. Yeah, you have fast mana? Give me the treasures here. Steve Cooper, opinion shows morph into casual chat shows. Huh? Opinion shows. Oh, yes. Well, no, sometimes it's well, what I have to do is just I have to start disqualifying the things that you're saying, but I'm not being very vigilant with that. Wait, the Chancellor of Dross video was you? Yeah, that was me. You don't. Oh, you now you recognize me? Wait, like no one recognizes me from that video? That was a big video. I got a lot of views from that video. I don't remember. I don't even know what it's up to now. Maybe 300,000 or something. For your information, I am the infect player. One word, anti. You want to bring anti back? Mike, I with the Phyrexia Precon also don't like infect player dies first. It's such a hard mechanic to actually win with, but it's scary, so you get targeted. People only have to die to infect once to know its power. It's sort of like a second commander damage, except it's a lot less damage. That's basically that's the soul of infect. But all the infect creatures, they're tiny. They're bugs, for crying out loud. They be tiny. They're tiny little bugs. Okay, no rule 0 yet. In Kano, in most games with my close friends, we can look at our own top deck anytime. What? That is terrible. That is so bad. Oh, is it? You know what? I can imagine like a story where like people were cheating by looking at the top of their deck so much, and then other people started to do it to the point where everyone's like, "Hey, you just want to have a rule 0? We can just look at the top of our deck like whenever." We can basically predict that deep into like what we're drawing next. Steve Cooper, video Nikachu and stream Nikachu are very different people. One, I'm talking to hundreds of thousands of people, and this one I'm usually talking to a very few thousand people. And live, I'm talking to like 50 to 80 people. Anti invites too many problems. Yeah, problem gamblers. Chris Ruby, I like this one. If you're searching for a card, check the bottom of your library. If it's what you want, take it without looking at the next card and save the shuffle. That's not bad. That's a great idea. Especially if it doesn't change the order of anything else. Why kill? Just my opinion, but it is a bad opinion to invalidate other people's opinions. Just saying. That's life. We like to invalidate everybody's opinion. Saxus, we should ban all board wipes, said the local goblin player. Reston, you never see them at the same time, the same place. You sort of can with me. You could have one of my regular videos running, and then you're on the stream at the same time. But you're not gonna see me live on both channels at the same time, doing different things. I'm glad Nikachu doesn't do his video persona in live streams. Welcome everyone. Today's video, we are looking at the worst rule zeros in Magic the Gathering. Why we are doing this? Because some rule zeros are ridiculous, and we need to address them today. Let's make fun of them together. You gotta be clear when you're making those big videos. You're not clear, no one cares. There's definitely a good chunk of people who don't watch these streams because I'm talking too fast. And like they don't even know what I'm saying. Kono, rule 0, you must exaggerate your actions like a Yu-Gi-Oh character. Well, I wouldn't mind that one. Although, do you know what? Okay, I've acted like a Yu-Gi-Oh character in many tournaments. I've definitely pissed off some people around me because it's just like too obnoxiously over the top and distracting. Wait, you do other kinds of streams? No, I don't. I have other YouTube channels though, all Magic the Gathering related. David Sampson, this is kind of a house rule more than a rule 0. But a lot of times, if a player is mana screwed, we let them do an abundance draw. They reveal till they get a land kind of charity situation. Oh, that is interesting. He doesn't have the hair for a Yu-Gi-Oh character. I don't have it yet. Rule 0 Soul Rings banned. I like my fast mana, to be honest. Like the thing with those super, like I don't play vintage. So my only opportunity to play with all those super powerful cards are basically Commander or nothing. Prince of Winners, worst rule, rule 0 for the health. Every time someone says target, you take a drink. That's a terrible rule 0. No, it's absolutely terrible. Healthier System says that's a great rule 0. It's actually might not be in response to that drinking thing. Prince of Winners, worst rule 0 for health. Oh, I see. I got it. We got Samael. I had a rule 0 using a random number generator to select a card. That card becomes free for the turn. Using a random number. Where did the card come from? Using a random number generator to select a card. That card becomes. Oh, well, that just sounds like absolute chaos. So like once a turn, everyone gets a free card, but it's a random card from like Scryfall. That might be interesting. Once every turn, everyone gets a Scryfall card because they've got this thing on Scryfall where you can grab a random card. Where's random card? Here we go. So we got Shattering Spree. How? Oh wow, that would be a bomb. Oh my god, I got Shattering Spree. I'm gonna replicate it, destroying all your guys' artifacts. Yeah, I assume that would work. It's free. I should be able to okay, I can't. Maybe I can't replicate it. The first part is free. Everything else is not. Rule 0, no farting. My friends would lose every time. Ice Cauldron from Ice Age. Gillum, rule 0, infinity. Infinity is infinity. No need to declare you do something 300 million times. Just do it infinite times. Is that a bad rule 0? Momir format is basically chaos magic. Yeah. Not saving much, says Christopher B, unless all costs within the card are saved. Micum says random number generator to make a card free sounds like something from Alchemy or Momir. That causes massive memory issues unless you print the card out immediately. So you have to do this sort of thing at the player's house that plays with printed out proxies. So that, Shattering Spree, they quickly look it up and they hit print. For anyone that knows what a printer sounds like. I don't know, maybe other printers sound differently. They all sound like that to me. Just says, that's the first time Nikachu has trolled me. I mentioned his video persona and he does it. That's right. I wasn't trolling. I completely agree with you. Mercenary, I have played Momir Paper before against Luis Scott Vargas. It was a very interesting game despite losing the game. Okay, bad rule 0. All emblems are removed from the game. If your card gives an emblem, it does nothing? Oh yeah, that is a terrible rule 0. What is the point of getting the emblem? So it's like, okay, we're going to take the ultimate of all your ultimates. What is the point of the ultimate in this game anymore? Christopher B. Printers, one of the true great banes of existence. You know what's the funny thing about printers? Too many people brag about how cheap they can get their printer. Like, they are trying to give the printer away for free. They make all the money from the ink. Stop bragging about your cheap printer. It wasn't cheap. You are paying through the nose for the ink for the rest of your life. And they know it. That's how they get you. Aaron Chacker. Rule 0, what about everyone has access to Ask Urza and can activate at any time for 4 mana? It sounds so miserable. You know, that sounds like something my brother would like. He likes completely chaotic stuff like that. We'll have access to Ask Urza. Samuel, my Tamio! No emblems. Healthier System says, Chandelar Rule 0, start the game with a random old school card like Hypnotic Spectre or Mana Flare. Spectre sounds like an unfun card to have immediately in the game because it like, where's Hypnotic Spectre? Hypnotic Spectre. Because this stupid card chews up your hand and makes you have non-games. It makes you have like no lands in hand. Christopher B says, giving the ick without how little they give the ink. That's how it works around there. Connor says, is this bad? Rule 0, no casting spell with mana value greater than your lands. Oh, it's literally, what is it? What's the Azorius bear? And she says, players can't cast spells with mana value greater than their lands. Lavinia? Lavinia? Is it her? Yeah, it is. Azorius Renegade. Each opponent can't cast non-creature spells with mana value greater than the number of lands that player controls. I would like that rule 0, personally. But so that people are not... we have Lativa. I'd love to meet her. We have Lavina. Love to meet her too. Then we have Lavinia. It's the closest one. Antler is the closest. Sorry, Lavinia. Nobody knows who you are, apparently. You're basically dead to everybody, despite having like a super powerful effect. This would be the worst rule 0 for anybody. Actually, do you know what? This would be the worst rule 0 maybe for every commander deck, unless someone doesn't play with mana rocks, because then it invalidates everything. It invalidates mana dorks. It invalidates the mana rocks, any sort of free mana. No, it's miserable. It would just make every single deck terrible. People would quickly figure out that like most of their deck is junk and they don't even have enough lands to cast regular cards. As a green player, I don't mind this. Well, okay, only if you ramp with lands. It's the only way you would like it. Toilet Duck, maybe people would know Lavinia better if she had a Secret Lair waifu card. Do you have a Secret Lair waifu card? Actually, this card has been printed many times, despite seeing, like, no play. She sees no play whatsoever. But they reprint. Look, they gave her a white border version, which is hideous. Okay, hold on. This might be the closest we have. Is this considered waifu? Is this anime enough? It's made by someone Japanese. So, I mean, maybe this is it. Still not good enough. Is it big in vintage? I don't follow that metagame, so I can't be sure. I can't be certain. Oh, it's cheap. That's considered chibi. All right, thanks for letting me know. I appreciate the correction. Archfiend, I have a Vorinclex Voice of Hunger deck without any ramp. Think I can rule 0 it into a bracket 2 game? Good luck. Big Story, good morning or good evening, depending on what part of the world you're from. Bab, your mana rocks are still useful for abilities, I guess. Oh yeah, that's exactly why I play my mana rocks. It's for those other abilities attached to them, which includes nothing. I mean, I guess you can... You know what? You can still use the mana rocks. You can just only use it to cast cards equal to the number of creatures you have. Sorry, equal to the number of lands you have in play. So if you have 3 lands and a Soul Ring, you can pay 1. You can tap a land and the Soul Ring to play a 3-drop. So the mana rocks actually still work. It's just that you can't cast any big stuff. We got Tina Mine, rule 0, no discard. No counter spells, no land destruction, no infinite turns, no comboing out. Well, I would assume infinite turns and comboing out are the same thing. No discard, which is funny because I don't even see it. I've never even seen anyone use discard outside of maybe a Thoughtseize from a combo deck, trying to protect their combo. No waifu is pretty not cute. Mercenary says Lavinia keeps those combo decks in check if you're not playing Red Stompy. Are you talking about Vintage? It was a light tap? What are you talking about? What do you mean technically? Oh, Jess says, I got hit by a car yesterday, technically. What does that mean? You, like, walked into the car? And then, I don't know, did it move a little bit? Kano says, mana rocks let you cast lots of spells still if you curve right. Yeah. So, I mean, even with Lavinia can do something. Bab's like, what do you mean, technically? Saxon says, someone lost a Turgrid. Mike says, my first precon was Alan J. Falconwrath Madness. So it uses a lot of discard. Reanimator also wants discard. Oh yeah, you know what? If you think about it, if you ban discard, you're like banning Faithless Looting at the same time. I mean, maybe that's not in the spirit of that rule 0, but it's still something. And I mean, it's still something they might want to gatekeep to prevent reanimation from happening. Does no discard ban wheel? Oh, it probably bans wheel too. Fan Factor, no winning from Thassa's Oracle, no mill, no elves, no merfolk, no infect. What? See, the no merfolk and no Thassa's Oracle, those are just redundant. I mean, I don't know, maybe you have to be specific. Say, okay, we're banning merfolk, no merfolk at this table. They play Thassa's Oracle. We said no merfolk. You don't remember our rule 0. Tina Mai is like, you guys play games for fun? Believe it or not, some people do that. I'm not one of them. What do we have here? We have Samuel with Panoptic Mirror with Right of Replication on it. Cast on it that betrays gets past that rule 0 pretty easily. Self-discarding is always sus. Archfiend says, I mentioned it earlier, but I played in a pod once that had no theft as a rule. Hated that. That sounds... So it's like they're banning... You know, I hate rule 0s that are just banning some pretty fundamental old interactions of the game. Like, stealing creatures or just stealing your stuff has been in Magic for an eternity. It's a big resource swing, and we should be allowed to have those resource swings. Big Story. No merfolk. Why? Probably I played in their playgroup. They understand the power of merfolk. Mercenary. The worst rule 0 I had to deal with before 2010 was no non-standard decks at the table. No non-standard? Oh, are you talking about like if everyone's coming out to play F&M and like the tables were just there for the standard environment or something like that? Otherwise, I don't know what that means. Modern players, or I guess legacy players, you go play somewhere else. Fan Factor, no touching my card. I should have a poll, actually. Maybe we could do this poll right now, actually. I have the power of polls. How offended are you if someone touches your card? Very offended. No touch. No touchy. Not a problem. Go for it. There we go. Okay, here's my grand poll. How offended are you from somebody touching your cards? The only we're assuming they are just not an entire some disgusting grease ball. Like let's assume someone is not eating a piece of pizza while doing this. They're just like a regular person. Everyone is just playing regularly. You know, I totally understand if someone has been like chowing down on chips and then they're licking their fingers and they go after your card. That's pretty disgusting. But we're just talking like in general. You know, like nobody is insane. They just wash their hands. If they ask, then too. Consider you need permission. I mean, everyone asks for permission anyway, but type 3 for the comedy option. There's no comedy option. Merfolk, like goblins and elves, are the first tribes in magic. The very first, the OGs. Mercenary says, what I am saying is that the group hated anyone who had old cards. They were not allowed to play in the group game unless they played only standard and standard alone. That is weird. Big Story says, how do you cut/shuffle if you're not allowed your opponent to touch? You see, that's the thing, Vic. They don't even think about that. I don't know how to put it. There are a lot of people who don't like the idea of you touching their cards, but then you like present them your deck and they're touching the cards and shuffling it. And what? Did they forget about that? I think they forgot about that. You know, there's no way around it. Now, personally, I don't know if anyone knows this, but like I treat magic cards like money. You know, I don't touch money and then start eating things and then start licking my fingers. No. I consider money like one of the absolute dirtiest things on the face of the earth, and I treat magic cards the same way. And men out there, you know, there are so many guys that go to the bathroom and they don't wash their hands, and they're just infecting everybody's cards out there. And maybe now that I told you that, a lot of people are going to choose option 1. And it's just the reality of the situation. I honestly cannot touch magic cards and then eat food at the same time unless I've got like a specific fork and knife or something. It's a super dirty germ zone. Then Corey, has anyone had a no board wipe rule 0? I would imagine it exists out there. Kana, worst rule 0. Basic hygiene optional. No! If it's not, it's basic hygiene all the time. Well, I mean, it's a simple thing. I mean, if you don't have basic hygiene, you ain't getting invited again. The odds are going down. Hail to your system. Not everyone in my experience. Okay, it looks like we are unanimous. It's okay to touch the cards. But there are some people that don't like it. Don't touch my cards. Steve Cooper says, not without asking. You don't just grab another dude's deck without asking. Don't be looking at my deck. Don't grab my deck. Don't touch my deck. Fun thing to do in any stream with a 1 or 2 pull type 3. Does anything even happen? Or is it just there to confuse people? Babs says, I'd love to see Standard Commander. I wonder what the metagame would be like. Oh, Standard Commander? Isn't that like Brawl? Like, isn't that the whole point of Brawl? But I guess we need it for players. David Sampson, Giant actually had the most cards in early Magic. No payoffs or Lords, though. Giants didn't really get that much lately either. I play with sleeves and wash them occasionally. I actually do not go down that route. That seems like way too much work for me. Stormy Cat, money is probably cleaner than Magic cards, particularly after being in a local game store. That could be very true. Leon Corey, what about sleeve/decks that get greasy from hand sweat? Well, they're not. Well, they're sort of greasy. They'll dry up. I know, because I have those sorts of hands. What's actually really important, I play with Dragon Shield. I play with sleeves that don't build up dirt on the card because of hand sweat. Dragon Shield is pretty good for that, in my opinion. Bab, infecting? We just said no. In fact, it's the rule 0, and it's one of the worst rule 0s. Don't be afraid of infect creatures. It's just a bug. It's like any other bug. Don't eat the poisonous snail. Don't eat the That's the key to it. Just don't eat the poisonous snail. No open drinks at Oh! My God, people having open drinks at the table? That's just awful. It's just an accident waiting to happen. Well, I mean, I guess I have open drinks at the tables I play at, but I don't have, like, it's not like a tall bottle. It's like a very low, flat drink that, like, it's impossible to knock over. I also place my drink somewhere where it can barely spill on anything, and if it's going to spill on anything, it's going to be, like, one land of mine. When sleeves get wavy or too warped, it's time to change the sleeves. What about swamp mosquito? What about it? Kano, better infect from creatures than infect from players with 0 hygiene. Fan factor, Mary J. Resin loves to get on sleeves for your information. What the hell does that mean? We have got Maddie Clock, open drinks until something happens. Yeah, and then it's a disaster. Healthier system, I try to find a side table. Why kill? You have an open drink right now. We have seen it. Yeah, I got this. It's hard to knock over. Well, first off, it's hard to knock over. If I do knock it over, it's not going to affect anything. I think the closest thing within a radius are these. I've got a bunch of Mishra's factories. It's the only thing I have on my table. And they're double sleeved, okay? They're double sleeved. I have not had a single accident with these Mishra's factories. Yet. Christopher B, that's how your playset gets thrown off a cruise liner by a bespectacled brat in a bowl cut. Yeah, and they throw away my a combo specifically. They throw it's not even a playset. They throw away your entire combo in your deck. Archfiend says, I've never had no board wipes, but I have faced the social pressure of not playing a board wipe late game when I can't immediately win afterwards. Can you win immediately? Don't play the board wipe. You're just going to drag on the game longer. We need this thing to end. If my Ancient Tomb is $197, then it's basically money. Is Ancient Tomb that much? What's going on with Ancient Tomb? Okay, it's not. It's on the way. Oh, well, I mean, some versions. I guess if you have one of these, like, box topper ones, it's like $200-ish. Okay. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a hygiene rule. If you fail the basic hygiene, then you're auto-banned under the no infect rule. I wonder, maybe Magic officially has a hygiene rule. I can't remember. You cannot be in a state that disturbs other players. I know that. Like, they might have like a rule that like blends into the no hygiene rule. Yeah, it's getting up there. But you know, Wizards can just cash in on this card by just printing more of it. Even Terry So has it together in one of his folios alongside the City of Traders into Dual Lands. Well, City of Traders is a what's it called? Is a reserve list card. Reston says he cheated in every duel, probably even cheated in his off-screen duel with Rex. Everyone cheated in Yu-Gi-Oh! Even Yugi cheated in Yu-Gi-Oh! Everyone was a cheater. As far as I'm concerned, the only person who played legally was Kaiba. Like, he is the only person that played legally. As far as I remember. Like, Yugi gets outside assistance. He literally has 2 people playing his deck even when he's unconscious. If only you could stink out your opponent. People do that. Like, I don't know if you guys realize, there are some people, they brag online about like being so their stink is so offensive that they are trying to sort of encourage people that when they're behind that they'll just concede so that, you know, they just have to get out of their presence. Kaiba took a hostage. Joey and Kaiba. Laughs in Millennium Eye. Not Bandit Keith. He's an American and pure. Well, he wouldn't be called Bandit Keith now, would he? Where's our Bandit Keith guy? Oh, he's not here today. Michael says, "Why is a cruise employee throwing people's cards away?" Must have missed that. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh reference. One character steals an ultimate one-shot kill combo, a bunch of cards that do a one-shot kill from Yugi's deck and throws it off a cruise ship. On the way to Battle City. Steve Cooper, I'll never get taking pride in smelling like a dumpster. Oh, me neither. I like to smell good for the most part. Unfortunately, I cannot actually smell as good as I want to because a lot of places these days are like you have to be like scent neutral. Otherwise, I would try to smell even better than people think I smell. I would smell effing amazing. I would smell amazing. Joey in the Battle City arc beat 4 cheaters at their own cheats. You know, I never thought about that. And maybe Joey never cheated either. Maybe Joey's also a clean player, cleaner than Yugi. It was on the way to Duelist Kingdom. No proxies gotta be one of the worst rule zeros. That's a great way to end the show. We basically fell off a cliff there, but you know what? We had a lot of fun anyway. Yeah, it was sort of went all the way around back to the no proxies thing. If you're not gonna allow proxies, well, go find go find your own no proxies low power group or something with a bunch of other. Get out of here. Proxying is just like a normal thing these days. All right, that's it for today. I hope everyone had fun. We do these shows Monday, Wednesday, Friday, especially to Rest and Serpentine, and also Tuesdays, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks to everyone who supports the show. If you're a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or you super chat to be part of the show, or even super chat so other people are part of the show. And of course, thank you everybody for being here today. I really appreciate the discussion. People from Christopher B, Mercenary Kano, Y Kill, Bab, Toilet Duck, Old Boy, Rest and Serpentine is absolutely back. Gillum, Fan Factor, Steve Cooper, David Sampson, Vic Story, and many more. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing those coffees. Don't spill it on anybody. Don't spill it on anybody's cards. And we're going to keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you at the next cup.